What up, YouTube? We are back for our first ever live show. It feels good to be here live back in the studio. Got my boys with me, Luke and Devin. How are we feeling on our first ever live show on YouTube?
Beam City Sports. I'm feeling good right now. Welcome, Sacramento, to our first live show here on YouTube. Very excited about it right now. Very excited. Gonna be able to connect with you guys personally a little bit more. So, let's get it going. How you feeling, Devin?
Even more excited after a week off, ready to get into it. And, I'm not going to say Beam City's up right now, but, we might be up. We might be on the way back. So excited to get into it and excited for the game tonight.
Yes, sir. Kings are back looking like a real basketball team, won 3 in a row. We are hyped here in the studio. If you're live in the chat right now, go leave a comment, show some support. It feels good to be live for our first time on YouTube. My bad, Luke, for not getting you on the intro. Shout out to you keeping up with the Beam City. The Kings are on a 3-game win streak. They officially have clinched a spot in the play-in. Love to see that. Some more exciting games for the Kings even after these last 3. So that should be fun for us. We'll get into all that. Also, Mike Malone got fired in Denver with only 3 games left in the year. Out of nowhere, man. That just took me for a complete surprise there. Luke's lock of the week, ICU. Then we'll get into the March Madness being over. Florida won it all. Dev, your Gators on top once again.
Shout out Walter.
Shout out Walter. Next, Steph Curry. Then we'll go around the NBA. A lot of exciting games last night, and then close out the show with some A's and Giants talk. The A's got their first win in Sacramento last night. Yeah, great game against the Padres. I was in the building on Monday when they lost against the Padres. Luke, you were at the Giants game last night in SF. Beautiful park in San Fran.
Beautiful.
1-0 loss for the Giants last night, though. But they have been playing some great baseball. Dev, I know you're excited to get into all that.
All that.
So we will we'll get into the Kings, though. Last game against the Pistons, we won 127-117, and our guy Zach LaVine is on an absolute heater. 43 points and 8 of 11 from downtown. Dev, you said it when we first got him. It's the Steph Curry experience. We finally have it here in Sac. 8 of 11 from 3 for Zach. That's prime young Hollywood right there. How are you guys feeling about that dub?
I'm feeling very excited about it. 80 points from which game are we on right now? Sorry.
Pistons.
Pistons, 80 points from Zach and DeMar. They took over, and obviously coming off the back-to-back, can tell that they were a little sluggish coming out the gate, but then they turned around and they turned it up. It was beautiful.
Yes, sir.
You could definitely
really
tell for sure, like they were, the legs were a little bit tired, but that's the effort that we've been, wanting to see. And then especially getting it here down the stretch it's even better. And shout out Zach. I mean, dude, those threes were, they were kind of coming up and trying to stop him from getting the screen set. So Jonas started setting it way up higher, and he would just come around it and just from the logo, basically. And it was, like I say, it's the closest thing we get to Curry Flurry. So, shout out. That was a crazy game.
Yeah, crazy game. So DeMar also had 37. So our 2 guys, Zach and DeMar, Bulls legends, now Kings legends, combining for 80 points in that game against the Pistons. Domas also had a trip dub with 19, 15, and 10. A great game out of our Sacramento Kings. Jonas, you mentioned him, only played 13 minutes. His minutes have been down over the last couple weeks. He only played 13, but he did have a double-double, 10 points and 12 rebounds. Sure. That's what we need out of our backup center. Playing those minutes where Domas isn't on the floor is so important. And, when Jonas is on like that, getting those offensive rebounds, it really provides a spark for this team. It was fun to watch.
That's the thing. Is like there were so many offensive rebounds throughout the game. And Domas was, he was getting triple teamed down low and getting up there and grabbing the board. But it was beautiful to see with the whole thing right there. Jonas coming back strong because, he has been struggling a little bit, but you can tell he was feeding off that energy that Domas was feeding out there.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
For sure.
I think he had one where he kind of got the ball knocked away and then regained it, just turned around, put it up and made it. And then, that's just that really makes me think like, damn, I'm so glad to have him because we haven't seen, backup center play like that maybe ever. So, at least in this era of Sacramento basketball. So, it's just great to see it. When he's doing stuff like that, it's even better.
Yeah, for sure. The Kings were down 18 points in the second quarter. It looked over. It looked like, end of a road trip where you're playing a tough team like the Pistons, where we're down 18 in the second quarter. They fought back, and that fourth quarter was just absolutely crazy. Zach LaVine could not miss. he was just coming up every single time down the floor and looking for his shot, and he was hitting everything.
Yeah.
That three at the end of the second quarter, I
Yeah.
think it was. That was nasty. And that's what really started it for him. I feel like that kind of, gave him the feeling, like we, shout out Steph Curry on the hot ones. It's a real feeling, being on fire. So I think that's kind of where it started for him, and he just continued to roll into the second half.
Yeah.
Definitely. And like you said earlier, they were setting those screens so high up for him on the court, all the way at the logo.
Yeah.
I think there was a time where they had like 2 screens set for him.
Yeah, running horns. Shout out Mark Jones.
Shout out.
Shout out Mark Jones. But no, yeah, seeing that get set. And then he was also, he was a good ball handler throughout the game.
Yeah.
Too. He was finding the open passes and like facilitating properly. But then he found the open open lanes too, and like was able to get down super quick. And then he just laced 3-pointers back to back to back, right when it just quick going up, and there was a laser just going into the net, and all of them just sounded beautiful.
Yeah, super fun to watch. At one point, Zach LaVine had 16 straight points at the end of the third quarter and in the beginning of the fourth. Just absolutely crazy threes. He was unconscious out there, like you said, coming off those screens, setting them super high. Also, Zach is really good at getting downhill to going to his left, but then finishing with his right at the rim. And that's pretty unstoppable if you can get all the way to the rim and still use your dominant hand. Oh, yeah. So shout out to our guy, Zach. Big game for him. But Devin Carter also was a plus 15 in the box score. In seven points in only 22 minutes for Dev. So yeah, plus 15, making things happen. Loved his energy out there. He's providing a big spark over this win streak.
I think he had those 7 and kind of, I think it was like a few minutes. He got a steal, layup, and then DeMar hit him for an open 3 where he was kind of trapped and just, trusted the rook to knock down the 3. So shout out. And, when he's on the floor, he's always going to make things happen. So that's going to be very important, now that we got the play-in spot locked up, and hopefully we can get into a playoff series. And that's when I feel like he's really going to shine, is in big games like that for sure.
Yeah, I think he's built for those moments. He played in them in college, so he's ready. Yeah.
One thing I love about Devin is he screwed up the whole flow. Love you too, Devin. He screwed up the whole flow for the Pistons.
Yeah.
Like full court pressing all the time. We weren't doing that when he wasn't on the court.
Mm-hmm.
And then he steps on the court, he's in Cade's face, and like he's getting bumped down, not getting a call or anything.
Yeah.
But he screwed up the whole flow, pressing him the whole time. It was beautiful to see. They didn't ever really get anything super set on the offensive side coming down the stretch. I did want to bring up when Hazard hit that 3 at the beginning of the game. I thought it was over. Right?
Yeah. Never a good sign.
Right? Oh, man.
Yeah, never a good sign to see him hitting a 3 in the beginning of the game. But we locked in that second half, came back. Still no Keegan Murray in this game. He's been out. So new look for this team. Trey Lyles played 38 minutes in this game, only 7 points and 6 rebounds. Didn't shoot the 3 ball very well, but hey, he still provided some impact out there and played a ton of minutes.
Yeah.
So we need that out of our, we don't have a lot of 4s on this team without Keegan, of course. So Trey Lyles is a big part.
Go get some rebounds and play defense, and then the offense will come to you. And that's where when he really plays his best, is when he's got the energy on defense, and that's what will lead him to hitting the big 3s that we've kind of seen him hit the last few years.
Yeah, for sure.
There was one little nice play that I saw from Trey Lyles getting under the hoop, and then a little reverse layup. And I was like, damn, Trey still got it. Nice.
It was a revenge game for Trey against his old team too. So Isaac Jones played 4 minutes in this game. I was excited to see him get some early run. Didn't play that much, but going into next year, I think he's going to be a big part. Get him more comfortable playing in spot minutes late in the year. That's important.
Yeah.
So shout out to Doug Christie for that. Cade Cunningham though was pretty dominant in this game. Had 35 points. Keon was a little too small guarding him. A guy like Keegan would have been perfect to put on Cade this game, but didn't have him. So Devin Carter, he got scored on a bunch of times, but also made an impact. And, like you said, full court press, made it harder on him, and just made everything difficult for the Pistons. So big dub.
He gets scored on a lot, but he got that plus 15 in the box score. So
that's what we need both of them to do too. No Keegan. They're obviously, both of them kind of Keon and Devin are really suited to, guard a matchup like Cade. But as long as they're making life hard, and even if he's scoring, but still you're making life as hard as possible, that's what we need when we don't have Keegan. So big shout out to both of them for stepping up for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we can get into the next game. The one before that was the game against the Cavs, where we beat the Cavs again. I think we're the only team this year that's beaten the Cavs twice. So that's big. We're 2-0 against them.
So you're saying we're the best team in the East?
We're the best team in the NBA. The Cavs do not want to see the Kings in the NBA Finals. And hey, maybe the Kings can go on a Miami Heat type of run, get out of the play-in, and go on a big run in the playoffs. I'm on board for it. I'm back in Pot B. Let's win every night. We're not keeping the pick, so might as well. Let's make a run, man. I believe in this team once again. They got me. I'm back on the ship.
This team is truly an emotional roller coaster.
It is.
But yeah, if we can make it to the finals, the NBA needs a miracle right now. Out of all sports, I feel like the NBA fights miracles, and we don't want to see that. We need a miracle in the NBA to see something happen like this.
Yeah, I think you said that last week, and I was kind of, laughing a little bit, but they got me too. I'm back.
Yeah,
we're back on, bro.
You said
we might be on a Miami Heat type of run.
I'm down. You said it when we hired Doug Christie and we went on, a little win streak. You said, "Hey, I'm on the ship, and if it sinks, I'm going down with it." That's what we're doing. We're going down with the ship, and I believe in this team once again because Zach LaVine is on an absolute heater, and he's getting hot at the perfect time, right when we need him. Hopefully, he can continue this in the play-in game next week. The play-in game will be a week from today, so next Wednesday. Hopefully, we will be at home. That's still up in the air, but we did clinch a spot in that 9-10 play-in game where we do have to win that game and then go on to play the loser of the 7 and 8 matchup, which we don't know who it's going to be yet. All those teams are pretty much tied right now, so anything can happen in this next week.
Let's just think that the Pelicans aren't in that play-in game.
Yeah. Don't want to see the Pelicans at any point. But yeah, in the Cavs game, it was 120-113. Kings came out with the dub. Zach LaVine had 37 points and went 7 of 11 from 3. Just another masterclass from our guy, Zach. Domas with 27, 9, and 7. So he's balling out lately as well. Domas, there was a lot of talks if he wanted to be a King for the rest of his career and all this stuff. It seems like he wants to be here and he's balling. So need that out of Domas every night.
Obviously, he's not going to – I don't think Domas is the player to let his off-court antics, everything going on with behind the scenes of the team, isn't going to affect his on the court stuff. He's always going to go out there and ball.
Yeah.
So I do think those conversations will still happen in the off season for sure. I do think Domas wants to stay here, but he needs a clear sign of like them building around him and making that step. But obviously seeing him ball out in Cleveland like this was beautiful. And then also the fast pace to start this game was amazing to see. There was a bunch of physicality, which the refs were letting go at the beginning of the game, which is awesome. But seeing Domas just like getting physical with Mobley, Jared Allen, and then DeAndre Hunter was giving him a lot of trouble down low.
Yeah.
But he was fighting them all off and getting boards over him.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we didn't have Keegan in this game either, so Trey Lyles ended up playing 40 minutes in this game, had 7 points and 8 rebounds, made an impact out there again on defense. But to start the game, Domas had 15 points in the first quarter. We don't see that a lot out of Domas, and he ended with 27 points. So 15 of those coming in the first quarter. Also, Zach got off to a hot start, and that was really important going against this really good Cavs team. You needed to get out to a good start. Can't fight from, being down 20 like we usually do. I think that's what we did early in the year or a little while ago when we played the Cavs at home. We were down 20 early, came back and won that game. But yeah, so the Kings, they were out hustling the Cavs most of this game. They were giving up good looks. Cavs were missing, a lot of open threes. So, take that with a grain of salt. The defense wasn't great, but we were fighting. And every time the Cavs would go on a run, we would weather the storm. We'd come back and Zach would hit a huge 3. DeMar hit an and one mid-range or something like that to keep, the lead at like a reasonable, number.
Yeah. And like the same thing was at the end of the second quarter, the Cavs kind of went on a little bit of a run. They were up. I mean, Keon, what I was going to get to is that half court.
Yes.
Is kind of kept our momentum going into the third.
That was huge.
It was huge because the Cavs were going on a run to enter into the second half.
Yeah.
But Keon shut it down, and then we came in to the third quarter even stronger.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that. I mean, I don't think we brought it up. G-Man on the radio said that they had a players or just a team meeting after the Wizards game, and the effort's just been that much more and very noticeably been that much more these last 3 games. So just kind of wonder what was said and, why it took so long for it to be like this. But, I'm glad we're finally starting to see it at an important time for sure.
Yeah. With, Keon hitting that half court, I'm happy you brought it up because I don't think the Kings have hit a shot like that all year.
No.
Like a half court buzzer beater off the glass too. So shout out to Keon for that.
I mean, maybe De'Aaron did.
Maybe De'Aaron, that's what I was thinking too, but that feels like 3 years ago already.
It feels like the Magic game.
Yeah.
2 years ago.
That was fire.
Last time I seen that.
Yeah, well, they showed a ton of resiliency in this game, just continuing to weather the storms that the Cavs would go on. The Kings ended up going on an 18-2 run at the end of the third. And after they, started the third quarter horrible, they couldn't score the ball. Cavs were hitting threes. Then the Kings going to 18-2 run. And it was just, Kings played beautiful basketball, getting everyone involved. Keon looked great, had 4 steals, 2 blocks. Love to see that out of Keon. And yeah, Isaac Jones also played early minutes once again. And made an impact. But Jonas only played 5 minutes in this game. Going against a team like the Cavs, who have a lot of big men, and they always have at least 1 or 2 of them on the floor at a time, and only playing Jonas 5 minutes, it shows a lot. But hey, he came back in the last game and made a big impact. So it's every night basis for Jonas.
I was seeing a little bit of a shades of Tibbs in Doug
Yeah,
in this game.
for sure.
The starting 5 all at 40 minutes, and then the guy with the second or the 6th most was Malik at 20.
Yeah,
and
got to start getting used to it now, maybe.
Got to get started used to it. I mean, it looks like it worked.
Yeah,
having just the 5 people go out there and ball and all night, it looked like it worked. And then the next game, it was kind of the same thing. The starters got all around 40 minutes.
Yeah.
So let's see if he keeps running like this against Nuggets tonight. No Jamal Murray, so who knows?
Yeah.
Keep that aggressive Domas too. I mean, I know we were kind of worried about the assist numbers there for a few games, but in the 11, 9, and then the triple doubles obviously had 10 in the Pistons game. So I mean, I'm not worried about that anymore. I would like to see him have the same aggression as that Cavs game. At least if you're not going to do it in the regular season anymore, bring that to the playing game and hopefully bring that aggression to the playoffs, because I think that's just going to make them that much more dangerous. And I think Levine and Sabonis are kind of figuring themselves out together a little bit better. We're kind of seeing them run the DHO more. I kind of went away this whole season, and then ever since Fox got traded, especially the DHO kind of just went away, and we haven't seen it. But it's cool to see them start figuring that out. We've seen Sabonis just toss the ball before and kind of get it here. So I mean, whatever he's got to do to get Zach comfortable, and it looks like he has the last couple games. I mean, I hope they continue with that.
Yeah, it looks like Zach has really found his rhythm with this team, so that's big going in the future, especially. But yeah, going to Malik Monk, he did in this Cavs game. He only played 20 minutes off the bench and had 8 points and 7 rebounds, struggling with his shot for a while now. Malik not comfortable with his role right now, and he's back on the bench. But last game against the Pistons, only played 6 minutes, 2 points, and then he got hurt. So hope Malik is okay. Don't know if he'll be playing tonight yet, but how do we feel about Malik Monk's performance lately?
Obviously it's the worst time to go into a little slump right now.
Yeah.
Into the play-in. So hopefully he can turn around. Maybe he gets a little bit more, or no, he's hurt, but hopefully he gets back sooner rather than later. I know it's just a calf tight. I know it's tightness. I don't think it's a full strain or anything like that. So I feel like he might be out for the rest of the season, and then maybe he comes in for the play-in and goes off.
It's only a week away, so nothing too crazy.
Since they're at least gonna be in the play-in no matter what already. I mean, I wouldn't have any problem with if he doesn't if he can't play the rest of the season. That's fine. Just get right for the playing game.
Yeah.
But it's a little disappointing. Just his shots are not falling at all
for a while now.
I feel like he's kind of been shooting bad all year.
Yeah.
To be honest,
he's shooting 44%
this year.
Yeah,
in the field.
Just in the
field.
Yeah.
Well, from 3, I meant from 3. My bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
From 3, I kind of feel like he's been slumping all year. I mean, when he was coming off the bench at the beginning of the season, and then I feel like it kind of started when he started starting, and then the 3 ball just kind of fell off a little bit. I don't think I'm too worried about that. I mean, he's gonna get him up, and they're gonna start falling for him at some point. But I mean, it's just the reason we're seeing the minutes drop in a game like the the Cavs game is just because sometimes you need the defender out there, and I'm not mad at Doug Christie for making a move like that, and I'm sure he's not either. And he wants what's best for the team. He's been in every role with us so far, so that's just a guy who wants to win. So I'm sure he's cool with that. But I mean, I'm sure the shot's gonna start falling at the perfect time. He's gonna play in. He's gonna come in, hit 5 threes, and we're gonna be soaring from there.
I sure hope so, because Malik's worrying me a little bit. And going back to the Cavs game when he was still healthy, only playing 20 minutes in a game like that, it's really important. Keon has really taken over the starting role. He's not scoring a lot of points, but I do think it's unlocking Zach and DeMar to just be more comfortable on offense, not having to worry about Malik, trying to run the show too much. And I just feel like you can't play Malik and Zach on the floor at the same time right now. They're too similar of guys trying to get to the same shots, and Zach is just flat out better. Zach is going to hit more threes. He's going to get to the basket easier. He's taller. He's faster. So it's a tough spot for Malik to be in. We all love him so much. He plays his heart out every time he's on the floor. Can never question that. But having a guy like Keon or even Devin Carter in there at the guard position to, guard some guys and take some pressure off Zach and DeMar is big.
Yeah.
Because,
I think that's why it's important for Carter to step up at least a little bit right now, is because, like you said, maybe let's stop playing Zach and Monk at the same time.
Yeah.
Monk comes off the bench. We'll have him come in for Zach. But that's where you need who's going to come in for Keon. That's where I think they could use Devin Carter a little bit. And then, we still have – obviously just got TD back. Shout out TD, Terrence Davis. And then
Terrence Davis.
Still have why am I blanking on his name right now?
Markel,
because he messed up his shot. So I was trying to think of the song to think of his name. But, yeah, at least one of those guys has to step up for sure. But I agree I think we should kind of, stagger the Monk and Levine minutes for sure.
Yeah.
You brought up a great point in that whole thing. Because I think it was last show we talked about it, how Zach, DeMar, and Malik are all too similar.
They're all the same.
And it just gets clogged up when you have three of them running out there, running the same play pretty much all the time. So, I mean, I liked it when Malik was coming off the bench as sixth man, and it was working really well. Obviously, that was with a different squad, but hopefully it kind of finds its click again, and it comes back during the play-in. And I think we can make a playoff push if it does come back.
Yeah, and also going off that, like Malik and playing with Zach LaVine and DeMar at the same time, having those three guys, which was pretty much our starting lineup for most of the time since we've got Zach LaVine. It makes Zach guard the best guard on the other team most nights, and that's not what he wants to do. He wants to go get 37 on 7 of 11 from 3. Yeah. And if he's guarding a guy like Steph Curry or one of the other best guards in the league, you're going to play one every night. Every night you're going to play a great guard, so you're going to have someone to guard him, and that's why having Keon in there instead of Malik playing a ton of minutes is going to help this team, and it obviously has over this last 3 games. But in the chat, let us know if you think Malik will take that starting role back from Keon, or if we should roll with Keon in that starting lineup. But
I will have to say, it kind of with Keegan out. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah,
that could be taking up a whole lot of minutes of the defensive side. That's why Keon is out there so much.
Yeah,
because we don't have Keegan to make that effect. Because Keegan can guard pretty much any position on the court at this point, unless it's Ivica, like Zubac.
I'm saying he can guard.
They're gonna put him on the 5.
They will put him on the 5.
No, Keegan can definitely do that. Yeah,
he might get worked a little bit,
but I feel like that's kind of a big reason why Malik is losing some minutes. Is because they gotta adjust the defensive rotation somehow. Yeah, that's why Devin's starting to go out there a little bit more.
Yeah. Maybe this is a blessing in disguise for Malik. Maybe he can take some time, take these next 3 games off, and see the team from a different point of view. Not just trying to get his minutes up and trying to get his stats and anything he's trying to do for himself out there. He's going to take a step back and see, okay, this is how we play when we're playing good. Maybe I can jump in and contribute in these type of ways when Zach isn't on the floor, or when DeMar's in foul trouble or something like that. We can get Malik more involved and more comfortable, because he's a very important part.
We don't need him being the ball handler. That's the thing. He needs to take a back seat on the whole ball.
We thought he was our next point guard of the future. It looks like he's probably not that. He's a 6th man, and that's when he's great, is when he's a great 6th man. But let us know in the chat if you have any thoughts on Malik taking that step back when he comes back. But the Kings' final 3 games they play tonight. They play against the Denver Nuggets tonight, and I guess we should jump into it right now, man. They fired Michael Malone. Kings legend of a coach, Michael Malone. I can't believe it. I would love for him to come back, even though we love Doug.
He's not coming back unless the next call.
Yeah, because when they fired Mike Brown early in the year, Mike Malone came out and said how the Kings organization is horrible, and I don't even remember exactly what he said, but he talked a lot of bad stuff about the Kings. So
no class, no balls.
No class, no balls. That's what it was. Nuggets fans were wearing that shirt, all this stuff. So, Michael Malone has the most wins in Denver Nuggets franchise history. Won a championship just 2 years ago. Not last year, but the year before. The Denver Nuggets won it all, as Michael Malone being the head coach and one of the best coaches in the league.
That's the 4th coach that's been fired 2 years after a championship win.
That's absolutely insane.
Since 2020 or something.
Only 2 that haven't are it's Steve Kerr, obviously, and then there's one more. I can't remember who it was.
I forgot who it was.
Why are they all getting fired after championships?
This
is crazy.
Guy on the Suns.
Frank Vogel.
Yeah. And then.
Oh wait, he wasn't the Suns. Yeah, he was.
Yeah, when he made
the coach. They didn't win, but they made it.
Made
he got
finals,
fired.
There's a
Malone.
And then the Bucks coach, not D'Antoni.
Budenholzer.
Well, no, Budenholzer did get fired too after they won it. But yeah, so it's crazy though, because we just saw Taylor Jenkins get fired. And now this one's even crazier. This one just doesn't make any sense to me. If you look back at the Grizzlies one with Taylor Jenkins, yeah, he's a great coach, but the Grizzlies had more of a plan that they were going to fire him in the offseason and let this new assistant guy take over and change the offense of the team. Yeah. But with the Nuggets, it's more of like a money thing, and it's not a winning basketball move. Also last year, after 2 years ago they won it all, and last year they were one game away, just a couple possessions away from being in the conference finals. They lost to Minnesota in 7 in the second round last year. So it's just crazy to see Michael Malone get fired after all that and only 3 games left in this season. And they're third in the West? Third in the West. And they can drop now to the play-in, or they're 5th right now. They're tied for 4th.
We might see them in the play-in.
They're in 4th or 5th, but they're also 1 game back at the 8th seed. So anything can happen in Denver, and they're on a 4-game losing streak. And, that's what, the main guys in Denver came out and said, was that they're on a 4-game losing streak. This was about igniting the team before the playoff run. And they think the moves were made in hopes of winning a title this year. That's what the Nuggets came out and said. That's why they did this? That's why they did this, about igniting the team.
That's why they also fired their GM?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
What?
So, yeah, I mean, the Kings were also on a 6-game losing streak when they fired Mike Brown, and it kind of was the same thing about igniting the team. But with this Nuggets team, there's only 3 games left in the year, and they're in a complete different spot than the Kings were. They have the best player in the league.
The Lakers don't want to play the Nuggets.
No, no one wants to play the Nuggets with
in a playoff
Jokic.
Series.
Yeah, and they have the best player in the league, and it's not even up for debate, really. But yeah, they said it's about igniting the team. In the owner's mind, they didn't have any percentage chance of winning it all this year with Michael Malone as the head coach. So that's just crazy to say.
That don't make no sense.
Yeah,
he's had that. I'm boggled right now.
Because
that only means if players came to the owner and was just like, "Hey, Mike Malone's a piece of shit coach."
Yeah,
that's the only way I could see them kind of doing this.
Yeah,
but. I mean, yeah, maybe players were kind of getting a little distant from him. And once you lose the locker room as a coach, that's probably the hardest job to get him back.
Yeah.
This deep into the season right now, too. But, I don't see any reason why the players might have been hating on him.
I know
that he's really critical. I know he's critical about players.
You've seen that.
Yeah, that's what some people were saying. I think it was last week, he was like, they're not about their shit. For
yeah,
if you're not,
no, he says that all the time.
I believe Mike Malone.
I do too.
He's one of the greatest coaches of all time. Of the modern era.
Me too.
And if he's calling you out like this, you got to check yourself.
Yeah.
And I feel like the Nuggets players were probably getting lazy and didn't listen to him.
Yeah.
And they're just like, man, he's just telling me to do this, do
Yeah.
that. That's your job.
Yeah.
You're supposed to listen to your coach.
I love that you brought that up, because I was about to get into that. The people on the roster just must have tuned him out at this point. That's the only explanation for this. But he is known for calling his guys out, like you said. And it was only 2 nights ago, the 2 nights before he got fired. In a post game, he said, after the Nuggets lost, he said, it's tough when his players don't watch film unless he puts it in front of them. He can't get his guys to watch film on their own time.
Kyler Murray.
And he's also been very critical of the team construction this year. He wanted more vets on this team, like when they won the championship, the KCPs, the Bruce Browns, all that. And, the main guy in Denver came out and said, I don't know if it was the GM that got fired or it was the main owner. But he said that Peyton Watson and all these young guys are better than the vets they had in the past. He said Peyton Watson does everything Bruce Brown does at a higher level, and he's faster and he's younger. But obviously that's not true. Bruce Brown was very important for that championship team, and Peyton Watson, he blocks some shots as a defender, but that's all he really does. Michael Malone's been super critical, and he's not scared to call guys out in the post game. He'll always say what he's thinking. He never holds it in. 4-game losing streak. Only 3 games left. Rick Adelman's son will now take over. So shout out to Kings legend Rick Adelman.
So crazy.
Yeah,
that's kind of crazy.
Dave Adelman, I'm pretty sure. So
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First night.
The last good Kings coach.
Yeah. Don't say that.
Mike
Malone was.
Yeah.
Tonight they play the Kings. Of course, Rick Adelman's son will be coaching against the Kings tonight. So that'll be fun to watch. But the real question with all this is, will Nikola Jokic leave? Was he involved in this? Because it came out that him and Michael Malone were like this. They were tight. And Michael Malone came to Serbia after they won the championship and hung out with him on weeks on end. Multiple weeks hanging out with just Jokic and Michael Malone in Serbia. And they fire him.
Go to the East. Go to the
Jokic?
East. Yeah.
Do Mike Malone or Mike Brown will be in San Antonio next year.
I mean, that's a good call. I could see Michael Malone doing it. I don't know if they really believe in Mike Brown to lead these guys to those guys to, something big over there. I know De'Aaron loves Mike Brown. Obviously, we figured that out after firing him.
They actually have the pieces to do what he wants to do without having to, make a bunch of trades.
Yeah.
So maybe. I still think Steve Kerr is going to San Antonio.
Dude, Steve Kerr is going to retire with Steph. He's going to retire with Steph and Draymond. They're all going to retire at the same time.
So he's going to be done coaching in 3 years?
Yeah. Dude, he's been in the NBA for his whole life.
He played with Jordan.
Yeah.
And after he retired, he became a GM.
Well, he played with the Spurs after playing with Jordan, won more rings there. And then he became the owner of the Suns, or the GM, the GM of the Suns.
With Steve Nash.
With Steve Nash, built that team.
It was great. Damn, Steve
He was on NBA 2K, a voice on 2K.
Yeah, then he was an announcer, and then he coached the 73-9 Warriors and won multiple rings. Steve deserves some rest. Let Nick take over in Golden State, please. Let my boy Nick take over.
Pop gonna be like, Steve, I'm trying to retire.
I could see Michael Malone going to San Antonio. But I know our guy Jackson is really on this Jokic to play with Luka train, and I am sick to my stomach. Yeah,
somewhere in the East, bro.
Yeah.
Go over there.
I'm sick to my stomach because he's not wrong. They are best friends, and they've always talked about wanting to play together. And now Jokic finally has a reason to want to leave Denver.
How long is Luka on contract with the Lakers?
Oh, he's never going to leave the Lakers. I don't think they're ever going to let Luka leave LA.
What's Jokic's contract with the Nuggets?
I'm not sure, but yeah, it's a question in the air. I don't know if you have the best player in the league and you're Denver, you have to go to Jokic and say, hey, we're thinking about firing Mike Malone. Are you on board with it? Do you want us to keep him? And if they didn't do that, then they don't deserve to have the best player in the world. It's just flat out that simple. And I hate how the ownership has really taken a lot of teams. Like when Mark Cuban left Dallas, it's just not about basketball anymore. It's about money. It's about staying under the second apron so you don't have to pay extra. And all this stuff. These guys are billionaires. What's an extra $2 million to keep Luka on your team for the next 10 years going to do? You're going to make more money. You're going to make more money having Luka.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't in LA, but it don't matter where you are. It's like the Angels. Well, I mean, the Angels are still LA, but it's like the Angels being ass and having Shohei for 4 years. They've made hella money, hella people going to their games
because it's Shohei.
LA.
Yeah, but yeah, it's crazy. So, if we had to predict, will Jokic, be gone in the next couple of years? Because I thought he was a Nugget for life.
His contract is up in 20. He has a player option in 2027.
Okay, so that's a couple years away.
I'm saying he stays there for until his player option, and then someone's going to approach him.
He'll probably be gone, man.
I think he's leaving.
I think
because
the way Denver's going right now.
Yeah.
If he wants to, I mean, it's gonna happen. It's just how the NBA is. If somebody wants out, they're gonna get out. So, if they didn't really talk to him about Mike Malone and he's mad about that, I could see him being gone soon, honestly. So it just depends on how he's feeling.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, NBA going to let you out if you want out. So,
it's just, you also have to question, it's like Jokic it's Jokic. It's his, like, kind of mental and his integrity. He doesn't really care about basketball for a lot of people's eyes.
Yeah.
I mean,
where's the
obviously
closest to Serbia, bro?
Yeah.
That's where he's going to go.
Whatever's closest to Serbia, nowhere.
Somewhere on the East Coast.
Yeah. But yeah, so it should be interesting to see. Denver was scary, but I'm not scared of them anymore. I'm not scared of Denver.
Man. We play them
if I was the Lakers,
I'm confident.
I still would be, probably. But
I'm confident.
I'm confident tonight's going to be a good game.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it's a lot for a win.
I think we got this in the bag. But
no Keegan, no Monk,
yeah,
no Laravia.
Oh, I miss Laravia, man.
Mason Jones. Shout out to Stockton Kings.
Shout out to Stockton Kings. Mason Jones.
Are they in the finals?
They lost the first game in Orlando the other night, but they're going to be in Stockton soon.
Mason Jones having 49-point games down there. He's him. Why can't he do that when he gets called up? Because every time I've seen him check into the game for the Kings, he looks super uncomfortable out there.
Also,
I know
in the last 2 minutes of the game,
yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen him play.
Some players just can't make it over that hump.
Yeah. It's tough, it's a lot different game. He's probably really comfortable down there in Stockton, just doing whatever he wants, and then he gets to the real team, and he's got to, drive and kick, swing the ball. But yeah, so it's a different game for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess we can. We got a comment. Kings are in a world of hurt. No direction going forward. the winning streak is a fluke and only hurts us because it gives Vivek a reason to run it back and not blow it up for a rebuild.
Damn,
Listen,
that's
Vivek
Ooh,
is
thank you for leaving your comment in
He's
the
gonna
chat.
do what
Love
he
that.
wants anyway, bro. So I would rather watch winning than losing, because
I
that
mean,
fool's gonna
yeah.
do some shady stuff no matter what. Like he gonna do what he gonna do. So I'd rather them be. I'm happy that they're.
I mean, yeah.
But you're not wrong.
He's
That's
not wrong.
He's
You're
not
definitely
wrong.
not wrong with that statement.
They're not.
I don't know if the winning streak is necessarily a fluke though, because we know Zach and DeMar can play this good, and it just it matters at the right time. It matters if you're playing good at the right time, and they're doing that. So I think the Miami Heat did it a couple years ago. That we saw a team like that make a run all the way to the
Yeah,
finals.
I
We
mean-
all knew they weren't going to win it all, but they still made it to the finals and made a run.
Yeah, they're not wrong. I mean,
Yeah.
that's kind of what happened after the Beam team year was. Oh, we could be third in the West, even though it was kind of, the West was kind of hurt and whatever. Vivek saw that and was like, we don't need to do much. Let's run it back. And, they re-signed HB. And, that's kind of – so I agree. I do agree to a point that, he's going to do that no matter what, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough because, we talked about this last week. There's two pots of fandom. It's pot A, where you realize that this team has a ceiling on it. And, this team with DeMar and Zach and even Domas and all these guys, there's a hard ceiling on it where we're probably going to be in the 9-10 seed every year. Maybe lucky we'll get to 6 one of these years. But, pot B is, rooting for your team every night and having that, irrational confidence like, hey, we can come in and beat Denver tonight. We can go in and beat the Clippers the next game. We can beat the Suns the final game. We can win the play-in. But I'm back in pot B just because of the 3-game win streak. But a week ago, I was definitely pot A.
Yeah.
Like, I'm over this. So it's a back and forth. It's an emotional roller coaster this year for sure.
I mean, I like this conversation.
Yeah.
Because it made me double think, or do a double take. I've always been pot B as a Kings fan. I've
Yeah.
always been pot B.
Yeah.
There's never been glory days for my age
Yeah.
at all. I mean, besides Beam team. it was
The
great.
1 year.
The 1 year.
Yeah.
So, just after 1 year, we can't switch to being that kind of team. It's like we're still that team that's just looking forward to the game tonight.
Yeah.
Looking forward to the game that's happening right in front
Mm.
of us. If we win, we're happy. We're happy. We're here. We're still an NBA team.
Yeah.
We're not in Seattle.
True.
We're not. Yeah.
That is a good point. Look at it in a bigger picture that,
Yeah.
hey, the Kings could not be in Sacramento right now,
Yeah.
depending on what happened a long time ago. And we would, have nothing to talk about right
I'm
now.
gonna root for I'm gonna root for fun, entertaining, bad basketball more than all entertaining for non-entertaining.
Yeah, I'm going to root for
Good.
what I want to see, for sure.
I mean,
I do agree with that.
Yeah. I mean, like, Dev, you said
But
every
it's more
good fan,
enjoyable
like,
for me.
yeah, everyone has kind of both. Yeah, you're poppy, but you also have moments where we all felt that way after we lost to the Wizards last week, where we're like, what are we doing? We just lost to the Wizards, and we're, we have all this contract money and all this, and it's just, it's tough to, go through that. But then we beat the Cavs twice in a year. Well, the same year we lose to the Wizards. So, another comment, Monty has to go. He's a joke. Fumbled the Fox trade and got steamrolled by his agent. Gets no quality picks in return. The Laravia pickup is nice, but it now comes out that we likely can't keep him. It is sad about Laravia that we really probably are not going to be
Who
able to
are
keep
you?
him.
You're cooking.
He's
right
cooking.
Now,
He's cooking.
Need you on the show.
cooking.
Yeah, he's definitely cooking with that. I definitely feel some way about Monty. Should have got Laravia before, and tried to re-sign him and made the option to where we can pay him more money. But yeah, I want to know what you guys think. Is Monty fumbling the bag? Does he have to go? Is time in Sac over?
Soon.
Soon? Yeah.
If stuff doesn't work out between Domas and whoever they decide to keep, then yeah, it's gonna blow up. Because I don't see DeMar being here for a long time.
I mean, if they're
no
not
matter
going to.
no matter what,
Yeah.
no matter how playoffs
I
go,
agree with that, yeah.
I think DeMar is going to be out of here before anybody.
Who
And
wants DeMar?
Well, that's the thing.
No
It's
one
like-
wanted DeMar when he was on the Bulls. And yeah, he had a great year, but still, he shoots only mid-range shots.
Hey,
and no one wants that.
Put him on the right team. I think they'll be able to.
If I'm a
run
contender
stuff.
and I'm bro just shot career high from 3, I might pick that. If you come off the bench, but he might not come off the bench. What are you looking at? Scared the shit out of me.
Well, that guy's looking at us. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I do think it's over soon. And I was going to say, especially if they're not going to keep Doug, I mean, they might as well just bring in a new GM to let them bring their guy in.
Our guy in the chat said, if we rebuild, I'm fine keeping Doug Christie. That's a good point. Doug will probably be really good at developing the young guys. We saw it in the summer league before too. And he also said, name a good move Monty has done. Can we do that?
I feel like I know who this is.
Can we name a good move Monty has done?
Traded Domas for Tyrese Halliburton.
I mean, if we look back
people
on it
said
now,
the Pacers won
Tyrese
the
over
trade.
Domas?
we don't have any point guard.
You guys want Tyrese over Domas?
If you look at the trade right now, in the moment, we made the playoffs the next year. Yeah, we got over the hump. But we look at the team now, Tyrese probably would have been a Sacramento King for life, and we could have got rid of De'Aaron, and then, hey, still could have got Domas. We still could have got Domas.
Hey, but these are okay.
We picked the wrong guard.
I'm not
We
listening
picked
to this
the wrong
I'm
guard.
not listening to this argument right now because we were so happy about this.
Oh,
trade
of course.
back. So we can't.
Well, no, right away,
as
I
Kings
wasn't.
Fans,
Right away, I wasn't.
As Kings fans, we cannot go back and say Tyrese is like I would rather have this right now because we were so happy
When we made the playoffs.
when we made that team.
Yeah.
When that team came together, we were like the highest that we could ever be.
We've never felt that before. It didn't even feel
That's
real.
a good move. I'll say that's a good move.
He
but,
said,
yeah.
Sabonis trade is looking worse as time goes on. I hate Hallie, but in hindsight, we could have traded Fox instead. And what do we look like now if that did happen?
Well, it depends on, I think, what happens now over the summer is what's going to happen with Sabonis. I think that's kind of, if he stays, then yeah, I'll call it, it's a good move. He's going to be here. We're going to build around him. But if he goes, it's obviously not going to be a good move because we don't have him anymore, but that's kind of unfair to say. But I mean, I will say that, yeah, that's the probably one good move I could think of. I won't say Kevin Herter, even though he was good for a season, but
we traded a first round.
We traded picks, so yeah.
Traded a first round pick. He shot great that first year, but yeah. I mean, obviously we look at the hindsight of the trade. Fox is on 100 data out of 100. He's better than Halliburton.
Yeah.
And that's not even up for debate. I obviously know De'Aaron's better than Halliburton. We kept the better player, but De'Aaron's way of, who he is as a person and his agent and all this other drama stuff that we didn't know was going to happen.
No.
We didn't know that was going to happen, but Tyrese was so young, and he also claimed De'Aaron never said he was going to stay in Sac his whole career. I mean, yeah, he's already one of the greatest Kings of all time, but he never said, hey, I want to be the best King ever. He never came out and said that. Tyrese was saying that his first year.
You say that your first year, but a lot of people say that first
That's
year.
true. That's true.
A lot of people. LeBron went to Miami, said, not one, not two, not three, not five. They only won 3 fucking titles down there.
But Tyrese is happy in
Only 3, sorry.
Indiana, and he's probably going to stay there the rest of his career and lead them in assists in the franchise history. So, I mean, we could have traded De'Aaron for Domas.
Do you want that, or did you want to play off push?
Yeah. I mean, hey, but the Pacers made the conference finals with Halliburton as the best guy. So obviously that basketball translates. It's the East and West. I know it's harder in the West for sure.
Injury riddle East Coast.
Yeah. Also, he said re-signing Harrison Barnes for the same shit contract was criminal.
Is this
not
Thomas
wrong there?
Decker? Thomas, is this? You sound
Not wrong.
I think this is Trevor Holt, if I'm being honest.
it is Trevor.
I think it's Trevor Holt. He spin facts though.
Shout out
Definitely spin facts.
You're cooking, right?
That Harrison contract was. I mean, we couldn't really have done much else. It was either keep Harrison or try and sign someone else to a mid player, probably worse than Harrison at the time. But yeah, I was never happy re-signing Harrison. Yeah. But
I will say when the moves mattered is when this last couple of years is when I think the bag was definitely kind of fumbled. But I mean, leading up to that, I will say he got that 2023 team together, and so he definitely gets the credit for that. But yeah, I mean, the last couple of years, there's definitely been some fumbled bags for sure. Trevor's cooking.
He's cooking. If this is Trevor, but yeah.
Overall, Monty. If going back to the question, Monty fumbled.
I think
trying
he
to
will
think
be
of
gone.
a good move.
Soon.
He drafted Keegan. That's a good move.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
That's a good move.
Found
Picked up
Keon.
Keon's a good move.
Keon.
Kind of got lucky there. Devin Carter. We could have
We'll
got
see.
Jared
Too
McCain.
early.
Could have got Jared
We'll
McCain.
see.
We
Yeah.
could also said we could have got a lot of other.
True, but
Like,
Jared McCain
because
would be perfect, obviously.
It's just that last draft class was such a. Not you can't say fluke because a lot of players have come out and gone off, but in the time of the draft, we weren't looking.
A lot of guys that are in the G League too.
Yeah, but we just weren't looking that deep in the draft because we were number 13.
Yeah.
So we were looking at the top picks.
Yeah, that's true.
Kind of been in a crappy position with those picks too. The last couple. I mean, the last good draft position we were in was Keegan, and then it's kind of just. And now we're gonna not have one. So hopefully we hit on a second round pick, bro. Let's go second round.
Well, we have hit on second round picks. He just commented again, trading away second round picks to dump salary Never seen
Yeah.
any other teams do that. Getting
Especially
Jaden
now.
Hardy. We got Jaden Hardy to fall to the second round. We drafted him and then traded him on draft night for another second round pick that turned out to be nothing.
Is he nice?
You don't know Jaden Hardy?
Jaden Hardy is
He's on the Mavs. Yeah, he's pretty good.
Great. So we're gonna play him in the play.
In the play-in, he's probably going to have
Sick.
35.
Sick.
But yeah, I mean,
Revenge game.
definitely a good point on the Kings. Monty, it's tough to think of any great moves. I mean, getting Laravia was a great move, but we probably can't re-sign him. So it's just kind of depressing that we get to see this version of a player, and then he's probably going to go get an extra $4 million somewhere else, and we're never gonna see him in a Kings jersey again. So sucks. I know.
I'm sad
It's
now.
depressing. Laravia's like already one of my favorite guys on this team. Yeah.
Hey, win
He's on the
tonight, and I
bench
don't think
hurt.
about none of this anymore.
He's
Yeah.
on the bench hurt, and he's more hyped than all the other people.
Yeah. Well, I mean, going back, I think De'Aaron really just kind of fucked us in this whole thing. Like, I mean, I know we didn't give him the perfect team, but still, if he didn't request a trade and do all this, we would be feeling a lot different about everything and about our complete future
Should've
of the
waited
team.
until the summer if they weren't really even going to get you for him.
Maybe the mistake
We
was
weren't
firing
even-
Mike Brown
we wouldn't
or
even
re-signing Mike Brown.
we
Was that
wouldn't-
the mistake?
We wouldn't even got Zach LaVine if we traded him in the offseason.
I mean, maybe
Probably not, yeah.
Chicago probably would have been like, get this $50 million off my books.
Poor salary management, poor negotiations of trade. Heard Wilcox was in charge of trades, but Monty is in head of the snake, so that's on him.
Yeah,
Wilcox is a joke too. Glad he's gone.
yeah, I did hear that. I did not like. Wes Wilcox. at
Yeah, I
all.
didn't like him either.
All that stuff, and then especially when all that gear and stuff was drumming up, I heard he was maybe even involved in some of that, trying to make it like the Kings look better, which is what you should do when that's your organization. But yeah, that's hitting on everything, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of hate from Kings fans, but hey,
Whoa,
if
what
we,
is that? What is that comment?
yeah,
What's
James, shout out to James, Warriors 2025 NBA champs. Hey, I'm on board. I'm saying it. I'm saying if I had to pick a team right now, Warriors winning it all, baby.
No way.
Dude, okay, who you got?
The Celtics.
Oh my God, no, that
The
would have been a
Celtics are
repeat.
gonna. Oh, they're gonna sweep
Since the Warriors.
They would sweep the Warriors.
Celtics do not want to see the Warriors in the
The
finals.
Celtics would sweep the Warriors in the finals.
No, they would not.
Yeah.
I got the Pistons.
Steph Curry's living in Boston's nightmare still, and Jimmy Butler is still.
He's not. No. Celtics taking that seriously.
No, they're not.
Easily.
No, they're not.
I mean, I bet
I'm
on
picking the
I
Warriors.
bet on the field, so I can't pick the Celtics. Give me the Pistons, bro.
Bro, no, be for
Cinderella
real.
run.
Be for real.
Dude, Celtics.
Be for real.
Easily.
I mean, I can't pick. If I was being for real, I would pick the Celtics, but we already bet on the field earlier in the year. So let me look. Nuggets with
Bro.
young Adelman. They're doing it, bro.
No, stop. Well, one more thing on the Kings. Damn, we've been talking about the Kings for almost 50 minutes. Re-signing Mike Brown and caving into the media pressure was terrible. No balls, no class.
No-
Shout out to Mike
No
Brown.
balls, no class.
No balls, no class. But when we re-signed Mike Brown, I was on board with it because he just won Coach of the Year. He took us to the playoffs. All this offense was looking great. Domas looked comfortable. De'Aaron looked happy. But my brother, I
didn't-
think, is saying that Brown didn't deserve an
We
extension.
didn't know there were some guys in there at the time that kind of didn't see eye to eye.
Yeah,
And if we did know that, I would have. I feel the same way. But
Yeah.
I was happy after they re-signed
That
Mike
makes me
Brown.
think if we didn't sign Mike Brown, we got a new coach. Would De'Aaron have requested a trade at the beginning of the season, or would he have waited?
that's a good question. Probably would have
Probably at
done it.
the beginning of
Yeah.
the season, because I think it was in contract talks that summer where he said he's not going to play for another coach. So that probably would have sped up the process
Probably.
for sure.
Which I would have liked a lot more.
And-
Get rid of De'Aaron at the beginning. of the season.
I just got that jersey for Christmas and everything.
Well,
I was
Mike-
mad, bro.
Mike Brown did get a huge bag too. He was one of the highest paid coaches in the league. He was like top 5.
I wonder what he's doing right now.
He's chilling, man.
Chilling with
He's
that
chilling
30 mil
watching
he's
the
gonna
Kings
have
in
for
the
next-
play-in
How many more years we paying? 2?
too after this year. Crazy.
I don't know.
It is laughable to do that, but I can't really blame them for that. I was on board with keeping him, but in hindsight, obviously wasn't the right move. The team wasn't built around him like he wanted it, and Domas just wasn't happy.
They made a
So
lot of bad moves in hindsight when you look at it. That's crazy.
yeah, it is.
Hey,
Well,
but we about to make them. No, I'm just kidding. We're doing it. We're back. I'm just saying. That's all. We're back.
We're back.
Kevin doesn't know how to feel.
I'm so dark.
It's been a roller coaster year for sure. Probably one of the craziest years in Kings history, and not in a good way. 2 years ago was the craziest
Yeah.
year in Kings history in the best way. We were
Yeah.
second in the West. So It was crazy. But yeah, around the NBA really quick last night. Warriors beat the Suns 133-95. Steph didn't play the fourth quarter, barely played in the third quarter. Had 25, 9, and 6. So shout out to Steph. Brandon Pajemski also is my pick for ICU. We can just jump onto that. 22 points for him. He's my guy out there playing great. Man, he's fun to watch when he's knocking down shots. Early in the year, Warriors fans were hating on Pods big time. But yeah, I'm really happy.
Pajemski.
Podziem. Sky,
you're not wrong.
Sky, yeah. Sky, yeah, pretty much. But yeah, shout out to my boy Trace Jackson Davis as well, getting minutes back on the floor. Had 13 points and 8 rebounds. He didn't play for like a 3-week span, pretty much.
He was just
chilling
in the depth.
Yeah, they got Quinn Post, Kevon Looney, but hey, they're blowing out the Suns. Let's get Trace out there. He caught like 8 lobs, so that's pretty much all he did.
Draymond playing good D out there. I saw that. They're trying to get him.
Is
the
he
Warriors
actually,
fans trying to get him the depot.
Is
the
he
decoy,
actually
but
like still? Can he win the deep?
I think so.
We're gonna get into it on Saturday for our award things, but Draymond, by the advanced stats, is the #1 best defender in the league this year.
Yeah,
so,
but I mean, Depoy is really,
and he wasn't in the running until he said it on his podcast, but he does deserve some talk.
Depoy is honestly the one award that is really stat based to defensive stats. That's why people are like Wemby are always leading because they get a lot of blocks, or Dyson Daniels is up there because he gets a lot of steals. But I mean, we know Draymond plays good defense, but it's just not like this year. The stats haven't always been as high, what I mean.
But he's stats.
But I did see that video. It's like Reeves was calling for a switch the last time they played the Lakers, and so he took the man so he would switch on to him. And, he's just a really smart defender, but that award is really stat number based for defensive stats.
Yeah. Hey, we gotta read it. Shout out to Trevor. Hey, get Beam City on the announcing staff because he said fire the whole announcing staff. I can't listen to. I'm not gonna say names. Can't listen to them anymore. No one cares. She just references when they played. Just announce the game.
Hey, you're getting your wish tonight. Jerry Reynolds is doing a one-time. Katie's taking a night off.
Katie's taking. Yeah, she's taking the night off. Jerry Reynolds.
Jay is the worst. Says big words to sound smart, but recycles the same words. He's a joke in a piece. Check his social media in the
This is too much.
Great. I love being live.
Well, also Kyle Draper. Hey, Draper's probably my favorite on there. I love Drape.
Draper's cool.
I love Drape.
I like Drape on the radio and on the pregame.
Yeah. So shout out to them. But yeah, get Beam City on the announcement.
Hang on, Katie.
Yeah, that is. You're not wrong there though about going on stories.
That is a lot of fans' opinions. For sure.
Yeah, go on Facebook. You'll see what they really say about the announcing. Facebook is disgusting. I can't even get on there. And the amount of fake news they put on Facebook is absolutely insane.
That's where my dad.
My dad falls for it every time. Yeah. He'll go up to me. He'll be like, "Wait, I don't even remember what he said the other day, but he said something crazy." And I was like, and he was like, "I saw it on Facebook." I was like, "Dude, they just want you to click on their fake link, and then it's just gonna lead you to somewhere you're gonna get scammed. Just don't trust Facebook. It's gross." Oh my god. He's going in.
That's going me before the game.
That's you when the Kings are down 5 in the second quarter. But yeah, we'll keep going around the league. Last night, Celtics at the Knicks was a crazy game. Celtics won in overtime, 119-117. Man, the Knicks did everything they could to win this game.
Have they still not beat a?
I don't think they beat a top 3 seed in either conference. Yeah.
Yeah,
I know.
I mean, hey, they got close right there, though.
Boom.
Yeah.
Shout out Tatum, though. He crushed their dream.
Yeah, the Knicks were doing everything right down the stretch. Brunson was getting doubled.
Back.
He's back. He's second game back.
He was on minutes restriction on his first game.
35.
35 minutes.
35 minutes.
Okay.
That's his minutes restriction. Yeah, 35 minutes. But yeah, I thought the Knicks had this in the bag. Mikal Bridges was so clutch. Josh Hart clutch. But then Jason Tatum with the clock running down. Celtics didn't call timeout. And he did OG Anunoby so dirty.
No.
Step
he
back.
Practiced that shot.
Yeah.
And
oh my God, it's only like 0.2 left. Hit the 3 to send it into overtime. That he might win Clutch Player of the Year just for that.
You could see, watching that play develop. You just see him drilling up with OG on
so
his
patient,
and then patient just as a little quick inside the line, and then step back.
Step back.
It was wide open.
God.
Look like out there.
I didn't think he was going to make it either. I watched this game not knowing what was going to happen, and it actually made me like jump out of my seat. It was crazy.
Josh Hart even got like a really good look
Yes.
at the for the win.
Yeah, the
Because
fadeaway.
against the Kings, he probably would have made.
Yeah, Josh Hart would have made that against the Kings. Also, Kristaps had 34 points in his return. He's been in New York a lot since he's been gone, but I know another revenge game for him. Had 34, hit the dagger 3 in overtime, so that was crazy.
It pisses me off.
Yeah,
being that kind of a center that big and can like use your body, but then he just posts up.
Yeah.
5 feet away from the 3-point line and he drills it.
Dude, no, he hit one that was like at almost half court. Yeah, and the whole announcers, it was the craziest thing. Yeah, they went crazy when
he was laughing too.
Yeah,
he was like, I should not have made that.
Yeah, no, 7-3 doing that is absolutely insane. Tatum 32. Cat went crazy with 34 and 14. Brunson 27 and 10. Hart had 10, 11 and 7. But OG, he's been going off, but now Brunson's back. And, he's taking a back seat. He only had 13 points after having like 30 for a couple nights in a row. So, yeah. Shout out to OG, though.
Shout out OG.
Yeah.
That was my man of the week last week, I think.
Okay.
2 weeks ago.
Okay. We can get into the Lakers and the Thunder game. Thunder bounced back. They beat the Lakers after the Lakers beat them the last game, 136-120. The refs did mess this game up, though. It threw Luka out of the game for talking to a fan with 8 minutes left in the game.
He was talking to the ref.
No, he was talking to the fan.
He was
talking to the fan. That was pretty messed up that they did that. And Luka, it was a close game. I think it was like a 2-point game at the time. And then Luka comes out, Thunder going a big run. But Shea did look like the best player on the floor last night. 42 points, 5 of 9 from 3. He was lighting it up.
Yeah, but don't talk to me about those fouls. Dude, there was a foul on Reeves like twice, I think.
It wasn't a foul.
And didn't even touch him.
Hey, but that's makeup calls because the game before Shea had 0 free throws.
Had to give him his 20.
Had to give him the makeup calls.
I think the most amount of contact Reeves had
That's
was
hard, bro.
That's a foul, right? Yeah. Oh, goddamn.
Oh, it pissed. All you see is Reeves like he turns, he's like on me, and then he laughs at the rest. Like in his face, he's like, oh, nice.
Yeah. LeBron after that Celtics game.
show the camera. Braun had 28 and 7, Luka 23, and AR with 24. So I am, feeling good about the Lakers if they did play the Thunder in the series.
Lakers are going to beat the Warriors.
No.
Yeah.
I'm going Warriors. They just beat them the other night.
And in the series, they won't.
Yeah, they will.
No, they won't.
Steph is not scared of Braun. That's for damn sure. Dude, don't sleep on the Warriors, bro.
I'm not sleeping.
They've lost like twice when Steph and Jimmy play.
I'm not sleeping on
them. Taking like a fat ass nap on it.
That's why they play single games. They ain't playing no series.
Yeah.
I got my pillow and blanket on the Warriors.
Warriors are winning it all.
Getting the stuff right now.
As long as we don't play them, I really don't care what happens. But if we play them, they don't want to see us, bro. James, where are you at? You still in here? You don't want to see me, bro.
Another game last night, Timberwolves at Bucks. The Bucks came back from down 24 points. Love to see that. Love to see, the Timberwolves lose a game. The Bucks went on an 18-0 run in the fourth. Kevin Porter Jr. had 5 steals, 4 of them all in the fourth quarter. 4 of them in the fourth quarter. So that was crazy. Bobby Portis is also back at 18 points and 10 rebounds. Shout out to Bobby. Big guy. Bobby. Yeah, big guy Bobby. That was a fun game. Ant had 25, Dante 24.
Dante's homecoming.
How do we feel about the Timberwolves in the playoffs? Are they first round exit? I'm saying they're losing to the Kings in the play-in, bro. They're not making it.
Are they?
You say the Timberwolves?
Let's see.
I don't know. I think the Timberwolves might actually make it through the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's not going to make it if the Kings are?
Nuggets.
Yeah. Or the Grizz. Nuggets or Grizz. They don't deserve it. You can't fire your coach 3 games left in the year. You don't deserve it.
Now the Nuggets, both of those that's going to be the 7-8 play-in is the Nuggets Grizzlies.
Yeah.
And then they're going to lose to us, and they don't get in the pit.
Yeah. Well, let's move on to. It's already been an hour, so
Damn.
Luke's
Looks
Lock
like
of the
a
week. Luke's Lock of the week.
It's my boy out in Orlando, Paolo Banchero.
Hello.
LeBron.
First, I
Hello,
would say,
hello.
man has been going off the last 10 games. I think he's like averaging over 24 points a game for the last 10 games, 25. But the last 3 games, though, 30 points per game, 12.5 rebounds, 5.5 assists, a steal and a block. He's getting hot right now at the perfect time for Orlando to stay in that play-in tournament.
Yeah.
Keep the 7 seed. Right now, if the Kings were in the Eastern Conference, though, they would be right there in the 7th seed with the Magic.
Ugh,
Yeah.
that's so annoying.
Yeah.
Hey, Orlando Magic, though.
Orlando.
Shout out
It's all right,
to them.
we're back there now.
Yeah.
But no, yeah. Shout out Paolo. Shout out the Magic.
Yeah.
They struggled a little bit, kind of after All-Star break. They fell off a little bit, but they came back, and I think they're gonna make a playoff push for sure.
I like it.
Yeah.
Another comment in the chat. Someone predicted the Kings beat the Mavs in the play-in. Love that. Then beat the Grizz or the Wolves. Love that. But then lose to the Clippers in the second play-in. Then win 1 against OKC. OKC doesn't make it out of the West. SGA is a subpar in the playoffs.
Wow.
And he said Warriors or Lakers coming out of the West. Well, so the play-in is the winner or the loser of the 7 and 8 plays the winner of the 9-10.
Yep.
So we would have to win 2 games to get into the playoffs
Yeah.
to play the Thunder, and we can only play the
Yeah.
Thunder. We can only be
Yeah.
the 8 seed. So if we want to make the playoffs, we have to play the Thunder first round.
They don't
Hey,
want to see it.
they don't want to see us.
I do want to go back real quick.
Yeah.
Last week, I made a parlay.
Yeah.
I hit all 6 legs.
No.
$15, $3.90.
Crash out parlay hits.
Should have put
It finally
some money
hit.
on.
I'm kidding. It finally hit.
Yeah, last week it was 6 legs for $15. Hit $3.90. Got
$15 for $5,000.
Today I got another one for you guys.
Okay,
$10 right here. 6 leg parlay.
I
So
might lock this one.
play it.
you got to buckle down. First one, Kobe White. Over 31 points, rebounds, and assists.
That's gonna hit.
He's gonna hit the bet on points.
That's a lot.
That's a hit on.
That's
points
a
right
lot.
there. Kobe White. So he needs 32 points, rebounds, and assists.
That's a lot.
Christian Brown, 25 points, rebounds, and assists as well.
No, not against the Kings.
It's gonna
Go
happen.
under.
No Jamal Murray.
Yeah,
Like
he's low key their second best
he's
player.
their, like, yeah.
He's low key their second
If
best
Aaron
player.
Gordon got not going off.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he's gonna pop off.
Okay, that's a lot.
And then Denny Avdia,
Yep,
25 points against Houston.
Lock.
Against Utah.
lock.
Contavious Caldwell-Pope, 2 threes tonight. Just 2.
Has he done that all year?
Just 2.
Yeah, he's done it a few times.
Okay.
Yeah. James Harden and Jalen Green, 43 plus points
Okay.
together.
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 That's
Yeah,
a lot for sure.
Jalen, who?
And
Harden
then
gonna get that alone.
Domas and Jokic, 17 points or 17 assists combined.
Ooh, I like that. Jokic probably gonna get that on his own.
Yeah, I might have to lock that. I might
Yeah.
have to lock that.
I like that. Luke's lock of the week. Great,
Lock of the week.
great picks for Luke.
So
DraftKings sponsor us.
$10. No, not DraftKings, Prize Pick.
Prize Picks, FanDuel, whatever you
Either
want,
one.
man. I'm down for anything.
But this $10 for this 6 leg parlay for the power play, $250.
250.
250.
250 to win. All you gotta do is put what? $10 in?
$10 for the 6 leg parlay. Small bets,
Hey.
big wins.
Yep. Small bets, big wins. We like it. It's a lock. Crown is yours, never hers, King. But yeah, ICU. I picked Brandon Pajemski. Anyone else got ICU? Dev, pick one for baseball off the top of your head. Anyone? Or Luke, if you got one?
ICU.
I was gonna say Dylan Brooks in Houston.
Oh, I was gonna pick him.
Yeah,
I was
Dylan
gonna
Brooks,
pick him.
24 the other night.
Yeah, he's been balling.
Yeah.
He's been balling.
What's
ICU.
his
Shout out to
name?
the villain.
What's his name?
And then
Wilson.
Soderstrom
Oh.
on the A's, man.
Or
Soderstrom,
Soderstrom.
the only other player besides Aaron Judge with 6 home runs.
Yeah, I saw 2 when I was in the building the other night. That was beautiful to see.
Jacob Wilson?
Yes,
That's mine.
that's my twin.
Struck out for his first couple times the other night, but other than that, he hadn't struck out all year. He's probably hitting about 400 right now.
Yeah,
Hit his first couple home runs the other day in Colorado.
yeah,
I mean, he's going to be a guy for sure.
yeah. He's one of them guys. He has a hit in every game this year.
One of them ones.
He's one of them ones for sure.
Even in the games he struck out for the first 2 times, he still got a hit.
Yep.
That's him, bro.
Yeah, facts. Well, Florida won it all. Walter Clayton was clutch down the stretch. Gators. Shout out to the Gators.
Shout out.
Give y'all
Gainesville.
some love.
Shout out Tom Petty.
Yeah, shout out. Shout out to Florida. But yeah, how do we feel about college basketball this year?
I'm satisfied
Yeah.
by it. Besides the
think
last play. Of
Yeah.
the,
Yeah.
Oh,
the
that was a
tournament.
horrible ending. Yeah,
That was a great game.
Yeah.
That whole game was amazing.
it was a defensive
And then
game.
I just feel bad for that kid. But
Yeah,
that was just the worst way to end.
he's really
the whole
good too.
tournament.
That's a tough one, man. Steph does that play all the time where he'll go into a shot and then someone will jump out and he doesn't want to get blocked, so he just like goes back down.
Yeah.
So like, and he tries to stay on that 1 foot because I don't think it's a travel if you go
If
stay
you-
on your 1
if you
foot.
Stay on 1 foot. You're
But
right.
you know, when you get on, when you leave your feet, it's tough. He should have just shot it.
He should've just-
And yeah,
Shooter shoot.
he's definitely going to be thinking about that hit the rest of his life. Could have
Yeah.
won the college
And he's
championship
gonna be
with
at his
that.
best
I mean,
job.
Yeah.
Is
He
he
just shot
he's
that.
not league bound?
I hope, man. I don't know, but I know all those guys on that Houston team are like 24. So All these teams, man. All these
Houston's
teams in
not gonna
college.
make it.
All these 5th year, 6th year seniors. How is it even possible to be a 6th year senior? How is it possible? COVID should be 5. Yeah. Where's the 6th year?
Well,
these kids are 27 playing in college basketball. It's not fair. It's not fair.
The whole COVID thing lasted two
Oh, I guess it was more than 1 year. Yeah.
So that's the whole.
I'm over it though.
I'm ready for
I'm ready for
J.R. Smith.
Yeah.
Hella old, 40 years old, playing against college kids golfing. Right?
For real. But yeah, so it was a fun year for college basketball. I do have to mention I wish Duke won that game against Houston. I know everyone hates Duke. I was happy to see him lose, but that call against Cooper Flag, the over the back was pretty bad.
Yeah.
That was a bad call. That was a weak call.
I was in the sports book. I was on vacation this weekend, and so I was in the sports book watching that, and I was like, that's really tough. I mean, if that got called on my team, I'd be hot. But I wasn't too mad because crash out. Because even though they were all ones, so I mean, I don't know if you could really call it an upset. An upset because everybody had Duke.
I mean, Duke sold. They were up 9 with 2 minutes left.
They were the favorite going into.
So
they were the ones.
Cooper Flag
I
still
thought it was
shut
cool
out.
to see for sure.
Yeah. Cooper still looks great though. But yeah, let's get into some baseball, man. It's time. It's that time of year, baby. Baseball's back. But yeah, you went to the Giants game last night. Want to hear some stories about that? Should I start with my A's stories? Because I got to get into it.
He's hot.
I'm hot.
Mine will be quick.
Okay. Yeah. How was the game last night in SF?
1-0 game.
1-0 game.
There's a soccer score right there, but it was one of the most entertaining 1-0 games I've ever been to. I think there were 12 hits together, and great defense, great pitching all around. It was amazing. I don't know, the vibes were high. I love that park. Oracle Park is beautiful, probably one of the best in the MLB, if not the best. It was the Reds. I was rooting for the Reds last night. Shout out my boy Duncan.
Shout out Ellie De La Cruz.
I was with my boy. It was good to kind of
see some baseball in action.
Exactly. Conversate with the Giants fans. Everybody's very nice there.
So really?
Everybody's
I have
nice.
a complete opposite story going to Sacramento.
But
horrible.
It was a whole lot of fun.
Let me kick back.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Yeah. Well, happy that you went to the game, but I wish you were with me on Monday night when the A's played the Padres for the first game of the series. I went with my girl Taylor. It was still a great night, super fun night. A's, they played good. The A's ended up losing 5-4. But, the real story for me was walking down to my seat. I'm sitting 6 rows up on the Padres side, pretty close to their dugout, seeing them all warm up. Tatis right in front of me. I'm like, whoa, this is pretty sick. But I get to my seat. I'm not even at my seat yet. And these Padre fans, the game hasn't started, and they're already chanting, "Let's go Padres," nonstop, literally nonstop. Grown men, before the game even starts, chanting.
Oh my God, Tatis.
And they're every time Tatis would come up, he struck out at one of his first times, and they're still cheering for him, walking back to the dugout. It was just, I was surrounded by Padres fans, man. It was my worst nightmare. And I'm just telling Taylor, I'm like, this is not usually how an A's game is. Usually, Oakland had to jump it. Even when we were bad, it was still more A's fans in there than anything, unless you're playing the Giants or the Dodgers or the Yankees. That's understandable. But the Padres? I mean, I love the Padres. I like the Padres. Where did all these Padre fans come from in Sacramento? It was more brown in that stadium than any green. There was no green. It was depressing.
Wearing brown.
Yeah.
Think about it. There's not a whole lot of A's fans here in Sac.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, they're Giants fans.
Yeah.
Or they don't root for anything in California. They're rooting for anything elsewhere.
Yeah.
So that's why, I already know when who's coming in next week.
Mets.
The Mets. Yeah.
No, there's gonna be Mets fans too.
There's gonna be Mets fans all over the place just because they're a New York team.
Yeah.
And that's
but it's kind of depressing because I feel like the A's, besides that first game, they don't really get any real home games, home game feels. It's not like the A's hit a home run and it wasn't that loud. The Tatis hit a home run. It was so loud in that stadium. And that's got to not feel good for these young guys. And I would be super excited to play in Sac if I was the A's, thinking that obviously we grew up here, but hey, it can be cool in Sac, they got the beam and all that. But no, I was expecting more A's support, but it's just not.
You know who doesn't care?
Who?
John Fisher.
He doesn't care.
That's
why.
That's the main reason why
that
there's
is.
no effort for this whole thing. And it's for those who are A's fans, they're not going to show up to the game because fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they don't want
Yeah.
to support this guy
Yeah.
who's ruining their team.
Is the
Yeah.
tough shed still out there for the?
Nah, probably
Okay.
that was only out there for like the windy day
Yeah.
that was going on.
But yeah, go.
It's obviously going to be like that. It happens in the NBA when the Warriors come here to sack.
Yeah.
It's a Warriors game pretty much in there.
No, that's true.
It
Yeah.
gets allowed.
But there's still Kings fans fighting back.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
not just "Let's go
That's
Warriors"
just-
chants the whole time. You can hear like the Sacramento chants
Yeah.
and all that. But this game, no, I couldn't get any words out. It was like there was this one fan who wasn't even wearing A stuff. He was an old dude wearing Red Sox gear, and they're chanting late innings. They're still going with the "Let's go Padres" literally nonstop. It doesn't matter if they're pitching or they're hitting. Padres fans would not shut up. And this guy starts going like, "Let's go Oakland," and me and this guy are the only two, and I'm yelling as loud as I can. Fucking, it just wasn't good though.
Yeah.
It wasn't good.
I
wish
mean,
I was there.
I know.
I wish I was there.
I really wish you were there because we like these Padre fans were
I would have
disrespectful.
started yelling at
No, it was
I would've-
disrespectful. Yeah, and I had this family sitting behind me, and the dad is being more of a fan than the kids, and like just like yelling at the relief pitchers running back, like, "Hey Jason, good job!" Like, and the kids are like clowning their dad, like, "What are you doing?" Like, it was just horrible to see all these Padre fans.
That's one of my worst pet peeves at a sports game,
Yeah.
especially at home. So I know the feeling completely.
Yeah.
I always think of the Warriors Kings playoff series when we were standing outside for game one. And
Yeah.
these two dudes we look behind us and they're just standing there in Lakers jerseys. And I look back and I'm like, why are you guys even here,
Yeah.
bro? Like, what? They're like, oh, we just wanted to come out here and watch the game. I'm like, in Lakers gear, though, like,
Crazy.
get away from me, bro.
Crazy.
Like, that really
think-
fires me up. So
Yeah.
I get the feeling for sure.
Yesterday there was a dad and a kid in like full on Dodgers gear at the
Mhm.
Giants
Yeah.
and Reds game.
Oh,
Oh,
And I'm
see, that would have been
that
would've been worse.
Hands on
Grinds my
sight.
gears.
Hands on sight.
And then there was like a couple other people. It was like a group of people with Blue Jays jerseys. And I'm
Oh.
like, what?
See,
So
the
random.
random,
It's
I
fine.
don't get that mad about.
Yeah.
But like the Lakers guy, that's a rival. You're
Yeah.
gonna come in and watch the playoff game with us when your team's not even playing. Or like the people wearing the Dodgers gear
I'm like,
yesterday, like you
what?
said, I definitely would have said something to those
Yeah.
people for sure.
Yeah.
I'd have been like, why are you here, bro? Why
They
go
just wanna-
buy a ticket to a
They just wanna
LA
start
game?
controversy.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. They just want to start a problem.
But these Padre fans were just disrespectful. And I didn't say anything, kept my cool the whole time, just talked to my girl and, kept my cool. But if you were there, it would have been a different story.
You should've
It
Because-
probably would have been.
Because these guys behind me were just next level, just
I would've been-
disrespectful.
I mean, I would have been heckling.
Yeah.
Like the
I
players.
was getting petty when Manny would come up and they're chanting Manny. I'd say it pretty loud. I'd be like, man, strike his ass out, bro. Sit him down, bro. Go. And then they'd strike him out. I'd be like, grab some pine, let's go. Like I'd be trying to get hyped. I'd be the only one over there, like, yeah, let's go. Ace in a home run. I'm standing up, looking around.
Yeah.
No one else is standing
That's
up.
the-
Oh, dude, it was
That's when I was getting hyped with Duncan.
Yeah.
Like, Padres or not, the Reds were starting to like get some runners on,
Yeah.
get some base hits. We're getting, let's go.
Oh my
Let's
god, Dad would hate you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've never felt
and then-
that at a home game for the A's. Though
Yeah.
it was.
And it was and then the Giants had like 2 or 3 runners on, I think.
Yeah.
And there was I think it was a guy in left field for the Reds. Made a nice little sliding grab.
Yeah.
And
How about the
You
one?
remember?
The one 2 innings later, bro, with the runner on second, 2
Oh,
outs.
the one in
Ramos
center
hits a
field?
bullet to
I think that
in
was that's
right
Doyle.
center, and the dude can
Dude,
jumps
it.
and does a 360
Oh,
catch and
beautiful.
caught. I'm like, you gotta be kidding
Oh my
me.
god,
I
It was
hate Oracle
beautiful.
Park.
that's Oracle.
No, I'm just kidding.
And then also, I thought there were going to be way more home runs. Just all the wind was blowing out towards the bay,
And there wasn't.
and like the ball would just be hit sky high, and I'm like, oh, that's gone, and then it just died. It just
Yeah.
Don't matter. That
TJ
391 and
Friedel.
TJ Friedel. Yeah,
that dude. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
he's
he
a
can.
terrorist.
He can hit.
Yeah.
But yeah, another thing about the A's when they went to go do the national anthem and the ladies up there trying to sing it, her mic's not working.
Dude.
Mic doesn't work. It's just complete silence. The guys behind me that I already was so annoyed with, they're like, oh, obviously this is still a minor league stadium. And I'm just like, dude, not right now. And then they just have to play the audio. Yeah, that's all they did. It was, and like she's trying to sing it. She's on the big screen and it's just nothing's coming out. It was, yeah, it was bad. It was bad.
I feel bad.
It was bad. I was expecting, a better experience with A's, gear there and seeing all
We're bummed.
A's fans. But, I put on for my team. I was rooting for the
So
A's
nice.
hard, and it was a fun game. I love this team, too. I already love this team. Even
I
though
love-
we're not great,
I love the players.
we're good. Yeah,
I love
I love the players. That's all I meant.
Meanwhile, in SF, they had a nice professional like
Yeah.
boys choir from an elementary school.
I bet.
I need to go on a Metallica night because the dudes from
Oh, I
Metallica
like
do it
that.
on the guitar.
That's
yeah.
my favorite. In Moneyball, they did that, and that gave me chills. But yeah, going to the game was fun. We got to go to a game in Sac and put on.
Yeah, before it turns into hell.
Yeah, when it's going to be 100 degrees out there.
We're gonna push the games back later.
Yeah,
I hope
starting
like 8.
later. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah,
it was a nice night though when we went. It was fun. Still a fun night, even though Padres fans were over the top annoying, and it was also pissing me off because these guys just sounded like they didn't know baseball. Like this one dad who was sitting with his kids and like just being like so obnoxious all game, like saying heckling that's not even making sense. And he's like yelling at the A's players when they would swing and miss, like, it's a white ball, it's not that hard to hit. And I'm like, I wanted to turn around and be like, dude, you never played baseball in your life. This guy's throwing 98 miles an hour, and you're saying it's easy.
I mean,
I just hate people like
that.
that.
Probably just trying to get under your skin. That's what I'm thinking.
I mean, he didn't even notice me though. He was 3 rows. He was away. This wasn't the people behind me. This was people, away from me. The people behind me were definitely saying stuff to like kind of piss me off when the Padres would do something, but then the A's would do something. I would like get hella hyped and I'd be like, strike Tatis out, and then Tatis hits one 500 feet. It was God. First inning, the Padres scored I think 4 runs. Yeah, Tatis absolutely crushed one off Severino. He hung a curveball, and it was.
He's still on PEDs.
He still is, bro. He's too good. Same with Manny.
Hit him with 80 games, bro.
Yeah, we need it. But yeah, anything else before we close out? I know the A's play right now. They're playing.
Hey, we got the Beam City doubleheader going on right
Facts. A's are down 2-1 right now to the Pods. So, hey, we won last night though. Big win last night. First win in Sac. So that's big.
Unfortunate news for Sac Republic again.
Oh,
winning 1-0 almost the whole game. And
don't say it.
Kings did
8 minutes of 8 minutes of extra time. The refs gave 8 minutes of extra time.
8 minutes?
So it got to the 90-minute, and then it was 8 minutes.
I've only seen 3.
3 or 4.
3 is the max I've seen.
This went up to just all the stoppage time. There must have been a bunch of flopping.
And that's why they do that to make up for that.
They make up for the stop time
because the clock never stops.
But
Jamie Toss.
So I think it was Louisville FC in town.
He's there.
It was so ball into the box. Danny Viviello, our goalie, comes out, punches it, but it kind of it comes off the bottom of his hands.
Why didn't he grab it?
Because there was just a lot of people.
Tough.
It was a tough. Yeah. So he's just trying to clear it, and then get the whistle blown. Misses off his hands, goes down, goes to our boy Roro Rodriguez, and he tries to boot it out. And he does boot it out, but then one of the Louisville players reads it perfectly, sticks his head in front of the ball, just perfectly, and then it bounces off his head, goes into the goal, and tie 1-1.
So he kicked it and the guy was right here, and
right. So
that must have hurt.
Oh yeah, well it got off his forehead. And it was and it went in. Pissed me off. It was in the last 10 seconds of the game.
10 seconds.
The last 10, 20 seconds of the game. It was minute 90s. 98-20, 98-30.
They sacked it.
Or 97-30.
They really did. That's
third
crazy.
game in a row.
Third game in a row?
Third or fourth game in a row where they were winning and they lose it at the last one.
That's tough. Giants update? Yeah, I better walk out. Giants update before we close out? Don't bring it up.
It is 6-1.
6-1.
The top of the 6.
Reds want their payback.
They're getting their get back. We're about to get swept by the Reds.
Yeah.
They did score a run though. Before this game, they had scored one in the last 18 innings. So, we're coming up. We're back up.
They scored a run, guys.
It's
breaking news. Giants scored. But hey, we can close out for our first live show on Beam City Sports. Thank you for everything. Everyone in the comments, really appreciate you guys.
Super fun.
But if you're listening, go subscribe, leave a comment. Like it, share.
Everything.
Tell your friends.
Tell your mom, tell your sisters, tell your papas.
Tell them all.
Tell your brothers.
We're closing out on Beam City. It was a fun live show. We'll be back on Saturday at the bar.
Cheers.